A proper Grand Funk Railroad reunion would mean an awful lot to the fans. Mel Shocker on bass, Don Brewer on drums, and Mark Farner, the man who wrote most of the hits, most of the songs, and sang most of them, is not in the band. The former two are. Mark poses the question, they don't want him back in that band. They seem happy to have another lead singer replacing him, a singer, and a few other musicians that had nothing to do with the hits. But his point is, wouldn't they all make a lot more money if they just got back together and gave the fans a proper farewell? Mark Farner on Rock History Music. When I asked Dawn, it started, me talking to you started with, well, they were doing a tour, and then I said, well, I'll talk to Mel or Dawn. And then when I talked to Dawn on the phone, and yours was a phoner in the beginning too, which was, but anyway, when I talked to Dawn, he had said that, well, I think we're giving them, I said, well, without Mark, don't you think the fans are, isn't it disingenuous? I mean, and he said, well, I think the fans want what we're giving them. And I went, really? Like, you think that? And the comments, the plethora of comments, like people were going, what the?
Yeah.
They were pissed when he said that.
I got the same kind of reaction because I just pointedly said to Don, why don't we go make the money that we can make while the band is all still sucking air? What, I mean, isn't there something about, the financial rewards that we all could be sharing? We could be making way more money than you or I are making separately. He says, we're making as much as the real band could make. And I went, oh my God. And then, somebody kind of...
All the fans are gasping now. As you just said that, all the fans I know that are going to watch this video are going, what?
Yeah. So I think that's how bad he doesn't want to be around me. And considering a friend of mine who works DEA in Washington, D.C., told me, he said, Farner, if this guy sets you up, think about this. If somebody sets you up, they premeditate this, they pull it off. How bad are they going to want you to be around them for fear that you are like them? And that's what people do. They figure that you're like them and that you will retaliate in some way and smoke their ass somehow. And I could not, until he mentioned it, John, it had not crossed my mind. But after that, I thought, wow, that makes some sense. But you could build different scenarios and make sense with.
It's the jealousy theory, Mark. I have to interrupt you. It's the jealousy theory. People are going around going, she's very possessive. She's this, or he is, whoever the person that was overly jealous, because they're already thinking. They think you think like them. They're cheaters, and that's why they're jealous.
There you go.
Yeah. And you know what? I never heard it put that way, but yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I was asked on a podcast a couple of months ago. They asked, who's the most comforting person that you've interviewed? And I named you. I said, I don't know what it is. I hate to say the cliche answer, which is you feel like you're just talking to a guy and we're having interesting conversation. But I said, there's just something, I thought maybe it's his faith. I don't know what it is. I'm not a Christian. I'm more of a Buddhist, but I think we're all plugged into the same thing. And I said, I think it's that, but also he's I'm just telling you this. I says, I think he knows why he's here. He knows he's plugged in. He makes an effort. I use this example too. I said, when you go to a party, Mark would be the guy come up to you and say, if he sees you're uncomfortable, he'd come up to you and say, hey, how's it going? What's your story? Tell me something about you. But having said that, were you always comfortable with the media thing when you were younger? Did that come naturally for you? Because you seem comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, the only part, early on in the funk days, Terry Knight, your first manager, told us, And here we are. Don and I are 20 and Mel, 19 years old. Here's this guy who's in his late 20s talking to us, telling us, I'm going to create a mystique. I'm going to keep you from the press. If they want to do an interview, I'll do an interview. Well, then after we matured and we were kept from the press and they were hating us because they couldn't get to us and talk to us. And then we started reading some of the interviews with Terry Knight, where he got an opportunity to tout his managerial abilities and his producing. And it was all about Terry Knight. And then what really got us, what got me for sure, is when he took a centerfold in Cashbox and Billboard, like around Christmas, and he's shooting a bird, saying, and to all a good night around the Christmas time, like, are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? You would do that? What an ego. So then I said, if anybody wants an interview, I'm giving the interview. I'll take the interview, because that's not who the hell we are. That is not who we are. And so when I got from that point on, brother, I just embraced anyone who wanted to talk to me about any aspect of what we were doing, even why we were kept and why the critics hated us. It was all because of that scheme. And it was all, the world has so many schemes going on, brother. Oh, shit.
We're in a scheme world. We'll have more from Mark Farner in the next few days. Keep looking for the full video in the top of the description. When it's ready, it'll be on all the videos. You'll be able to access it. All the information at the very top of the description. We have brand new Rock History Music hats. We're very excited about this because people have been bugging us for baseball caps forever. There's 2 different kinds. There's links at the top of the description. You can donate to the channel or join that Patreon we told you about. Mark Farner has a brand new segment on his website, markfarner.com, which is called Farner Chords, where you can learn how to play like he does. It's for advanced users, but if you're there, check it out. Links in the description. And of course, comment on our videos, share our videos on social media, subscribe to the channel, and like our videos. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Take care of yourself.